You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Feel like who art Ed?
Try to slice it.
Who art is Mr. Wood art Ed me?
Good. Either way, it's ambiguous. It works on so many levels.
I know.
That's off to a great start.
Welcome to Who Arted, weekly art history for all ages. I'm your host, Kyle Wood. Now, today I'm putting an encore episode in the feed because we've got the Winter Olympics coming up in February 2026, and I do love the Olympic Games, and I love a fun fact, like the fact that art used to be an Olympic event. So today I'm putting that one in the feed because when February rolls around and the Olympics are actually happening, I'm going to be doing my daily mini episodes in the run-up to my annual Arts Madness tournament. And on that topic, I do want to ask you all to help me out. I would love to create a bunch of new episodes on fan picks, so I'm asking you all to go to whoartedpodcast.com/vote to tell me which artists and artworks you want me to create episodes about and include in our next Arts Madness tournament. So go to whoartedpodcast.com/vote or click the links in the show notes. Now, on to our actual topic for today. Since the Olympic Games are set to begin soon, I thought this might be a great time to talk about a little-known bit of history surrounding the Olympics. For decades, the International Olympic Committee gave out medals for art competitions alongside the sports. From 1912 to 1948, medals were awarded for artistic creations. The unique fusion of disciplines was the brainchild of Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympics, who envisioned the Games as a celebration of both physical and intellectual pursuits. Now, before we go any further in this episode, I'm just going to apologize in advance for all the names that I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of. I am not a native French speaker. I'm doing the best I can. I looked up, how to pronounce different names and stuff like that, but I don't know. My mouth just cannot form some of these sounds correctly. Pierre de Coubertin was born in 1863 into a French aristocratic family. His father, Baron Charles Louis de Frédéric, was a respected painter known for his religious murals and historical paintings. Coubertin was a visionary educator and a historian who dedicated his life to reviving the Olympic Games. He was focused on educational reform and promoted particularly physical education. He traveled extensively throughout Europe and the United States, visiting schools and universities to study their educational methods. He was particularly impressed by the emphasis on sports and physical activity in British schools, which he believed contributed to the development of well-rounded individuals. He became convinced that athletic competition could foster international understanding and peace. Coubertin's vision for the modern Olympics extended far beyond athleticism, though. He believed in the holistic development of the individual, emphasizing the importance of both physical and intellectual pursuits. This philosophy stemmed from his deep admiration for the ancient Greek idea of kalokagathia, which represented the harmonious balance of body and mind. Inspired by this ideal, Coubertin advocated for the inclusion of arts competitions in the Olympic Games. He believed that artistic expression, like athletic performance, could inspire and elevate the human spirit. The art competitions were designed to celebrate the beauty and dynamism of sport, showcasing the creative potential that could be unleashed through athletics. Additionally, Coubertin saw the arts as a means to promote cultural exchange and understanding between nations. In 1894, Coubertin's efforts culminated in the establishment of the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, and the first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens in 1896. The art competitions were introduced at the 1912 Stockholm Games, featuring 5 categories: architecture, literature, music, painting, and sculpture. During those first Olympic art competitions in 1912, a medal-winning athlete also took home the medal for art. Walter Winans was an American marksman who had already won 2 Olympic medals in shooting. In 1912, he surprised everyone by winning the first ever Olympic gold medal for sculpture with his bronze statue of a horse-drawn chariot called an American Trotter. That actually wasn't the only time an Olympic athlete showed off their artistic talent. Alfred Hájos was a Hungarian athlete and architect. He played on the national football team twice, but he earned Olympic gold for swimming. And one of the amazing things about that was he had only taken up swimming when he was 13 years old and his father drowned in a river. Just about 5 years later, he won 2 gold medals in the 1896 Athens Games. Hájos was a college student during the Games in 96. He had to take time off school, and when he returned, the dean reportedly said to him, quote, "Your medals are of no interest to me, but I am eager to hear your replies in your next examination," end quote. Ugh, I guess some people just didn't see the prestige in that first Olympic Games. But some years later, after he had established himself as an architect, in 1924, Hájos received a silver medal for his design of a swimming stadium. I was a little surprised to see athletes winning art competitions, but of course, people are multifaceted, and it seems perfectly reasonable that some who push themselves to the highest levels in athletics would push themselves to excel in other fields as well. I mean, no matter what the event, those competing at the Olympics are clearly driven and disciplined, and those character attributes will help a person excel in any field, and sometimes multiple fields. The thing that absolutely shocked me, though, was the gold medal winner in literature during the 1912 Games. It was none other than Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympic Games. You would think the man who had insisted on including arts along with sports would be barred from competing, but no, he took home the gold. Apparently, he was worried that they would not have enough entrants, so he wrote some poems and submitted them under a pseudonym. Now, from what I've read, he was a bit justified in that concern. The art competitions were initially met with skepticism and low participation. Looking back at the records, there are multiple years with no medals awarded in multiple categories, leaving me to wonder whether nobody entered or if the judges looked at the entrants and just said, none of these deserve an award. Apparently it was the latter. Remember how I said Alfred Hájos won a silver medal in architecture for his design of a swimming stadium in 1924? Well, that year there were 21 entrants from 7 different countries, but no gold medal was awarded because the judges thought the work was good enough for a silver medal, and they gave out a bronze, but they felt nothing was up to the standard of Olympic gold. Which, I gotta say, on the one hand, I understand wanting to keep a high standard for a gold medal, but still it seems just really awful to say, in essence, this is the best of the competition, but we'd rather give no gold than give it to you. Still, over time, the art competitions gradually gained traction, attracting a wider range of artists and capturing public interest. The 1932 Los Angeles Games marked a turning point with a surge in submissions and heightened attention from both the media and the general public. People were interested in seeing who would get the gold in architecture, literature, music, painting, and sculpture. And expert panels weighed in. The winners were awarded their medals alongside the athletic counterparts. But despite the growing popularity, the art competitions were discontinued after the 1948 London Games. And that decision was primarily driven by concerns about the professional status of many participating artists, which conflicted with the Olympic emphasis on amateurism. Also, just the subjective nature of artistic judgment posed challenges in maintaining fairness and impartiality in a competitive setting. Between 1912 and 1948, a total of 146 artists were awarded Olympic medals for their artistic creations. Now, Although their tenure was relatively brief, the Olympic art competitions left an enduring mark. They showcased the interconnectedness of art and sport, highlighting how both could inspire and elevate the human spirit. The Olympic Games were made more beautiful by the artworks, and the platform of the Olympics provided artists a unique opportunity to showcase their talents to a global audience. Today, the legacy of the Olympic art competitions lives on in various forms. The Olympic Museum in Switzerland houses a collection of artworks from these competitions. There are art exhibitions surrounding the games, just no longer the medals. I think all of this serves as a nice reminder that the pursuit of excellence can come in lots of different forms, and that human capacity for creativity and expression is as boundless as the athletic potential showcased on the Olympic stage. Coubertin's vision for the Olympics as a platform for international cooperation and understanding continues to inspire millions worldwide. He firmly believed that sport could transcend national boundaries and promote peace, and this ideal remains at the heart of the Olympics today. Now, we all have our favorite competitions, but to me, the truly amazing thing about the Olympics is that every few years, millions of people around the world get to share a moment being awestruck by the capacity of humans to push themselves to new heights. And I think that is something that is just so beautiful. It's worthy of Olympic gold.
This concludes this week's episode of Who Arted, part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. If you found this tolerable, please leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. You can find images of the work being discussed this week and every week on social media at Who Arted Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and of course on the website whoartedpodcast.com. Podcast done.